What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Existential Stoic podcast. This is a quick fix. Today, we're going to talk about being more mindful. Quick fix number 28. I am Danny. I'm here with my buddy, Randy.
Hey, Danny.
Hey, Randy. And so today we're talking about being more mindful. Why should we be more mindful?
Well, because the alternative is being mindless, and nobody wants to be
I was
mindless.
just thinking that. That's funny. That's good. Nobody does, right? It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for these quick fixes, then we each give we come up with 3 little tips to help you in one self-help topic. Today being more mindful. So it's my day. I'm going to start. And I think, when I think of mindfulness, I think of presence. And I think this is important. So I think in order to be more mindful, you have to practice being present. And what I mean by that is being aware of what you're doing and doing what you're doing. I think we often don't realize how distracted we are, how unfocused we are. I mean, you mentioned this before, going to your co-working space and seeing these people that are there working for 8 hours, but they're really doing an hour of work because half the day they're just distracted by internet, email, and notifications, the news and stuff. They're not really present. And I think, whether we're talking about relationships, work, whatever, being present is doing what you're doing in that moment and being focused on it, doing it. I think that's important.
That's a great one. My first one is step in the other person's shoes. So, so I'm rereading this book that was recommended to me because I was very poor with personal relations earlier in life. But
you're good with them now.
Not bad. I'm getting better every day. But How to Win Friends and Influence People. And in that book, a very clear point is putting yourself in the other person's shoes. I think it was Abe Lincoln or something who says they're doing the same thing we would be doing if we were in their position. And this is something where, I'm really finding the benefit of it because we live in a world of relationships. There's people around us all the time. We relate to them in certain ways, and they're doing the things that they're doing for certain reasons for them. Whether it grates us the wrong way or not, it's up to us. So now I kind of look at it as an experiment. When somebody's doing something that just I see red, first I'm number one, why am I seeing red here? But number two, I look at it I put myself in their shoes. They're clearly doing that because they feel that's the right thing to do. So I need to put myself in their shoes in order to understand them better. And because if I was in their shoes, I would be doing the same exact thing too. So that is my first tip on how to be more mindful. Put yourself in the other person's shoes.
I like that one a lot. I really like that. I think it's a good idea because it's also asking to have a wider perspective, to step out of yourself and really look at yourself in a way, right? Which is really good. I like that. So my second one kind of goes with that. I think a lot of times we forget this, but focus on our own character development and decision making. I think part of being more mindful is also making the right choices. It's also knowing ourselves. And part of that actually goes with what you were saying, right? Kind of looking at ourselves from the outside, seeing what we're doing and making sure we're acting as agents. We're making choices. We're not letting things happen to us or being led by our emotions or our desires, right? That what we're doing is intentional and, right for us. I think that's a much better way to live. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. My next one is go slowly. So and this one comes back to a study they did a number of years ago, where they basically had someone on the ground who was pretending to be in really bad pain. And they had some test participants who were taking place in a study. And they told the people, you need to deliver this to some laboratory across campus and you need to do it as fast as possible. And then they told some other people, you just need to deliver this. It's not really time sensitive. And literally none of the people who had to do it quickly, even though this person was quote unquote dying, none of the people stopped for them, even though he was right in their path. But almost all of the people who didn't have the time sensitive thing stopped. And so it's kind of one of those things, being more mindful, you actually need to go slowly because it allows you to process what's important and to respond to what's important. Otherwise, you're just in this reactive mode all the time.
I like that too, because when we're rushing, you're right. We're always looking at something beyond the moment. We're always rushing towards it and we're missing exactly what's in front of us. And so you're not mindful at all. I like that one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My last one is actually kind of kind of goes along the lines of what we've been talking about, but listen more. I think, a lot of times when being mindful is also about just shutting up and paying attention. And when I say listen more, like even just being aware more of the world, because I think that's all of our problems, right? We're so quick to jump in with, like, somebody criticizes us, we jump in with an excuse or a solution or a reason, rather than really listening and figuring out what's wrong, or rather than really understanding the situation. And I think, just calming down, listening and hearing what's being said before we do anything is important.
Yeah. That's I mean, they call it active listening, and they say you have two ears and one mouth because you're supposed to listen twice as much as you talk. But yeah, I mean, that's a great one for being more mindful. My last one is to have an overarching goal. So this is kind of similar to what you were talking about character development. But what I wanted to say about this is, have a clearly defined overarching goal. And I would stress the fewer, the better. So ideally one thing that's like very important. That way, subconsciously, you know how to respond to every situation, because you're like, is this taking me closer to my goal, or is this going to take me further from my goal? So by having that one overarching goal, it allows you to be more mindful, because it takes your conscious mind off of trying to figure stuff out. You can just basically almost follow it like it's your North Star. And then you can be more mindful in situations because you don't have to think about, is this the right direction?
I really like that one. That's an excellent one, because I think when you have that overarching goal or that higher order goal, right, you always have direction. Like you said, you always have sort of something guiding your decisions. That's great. Mm-hmm. So that was good. Those are our tips for being more mindful. Guys, this is a quick fix. These are short episodes. Check out our long episode as well. Watch us on YouTube, click notifications, subscribe, listen to us on the directories and shit. Share us with your friends and family. Do all that stuff because it helps us out. We really appreciate it. We'll be back with another quick fix and another episode later on this week. Later, Randy.
Later, Danny.